can't. It's like looks totally disrespectful, but I can't even fit this through a jacket. I tried all my jackets. It's like nope.
Next year we expect better.
Next year, right?
Next year we expect better.
I will do better.
Do you want to sign?
Yes.
Need a pen?
Do I have to hold anything while you sign? Since you haven't started yet. Write the campaign email. Tell me if we're okay. I want to finish it. Maybe this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
Because I may never see you again.
Oh, okay.
Welcome everybody. On this auspicious occasion, if you can take a seat or take a spot, we will bring this meeting to order. Welcome Vice Mayor, council members. In service, I call this special meeting of the Albany City Council for December 12th, 2022 to order. And I should also welcome the council members to be. I apologize. I don't mean any disrespect by the way I'm dressed, but I can't fit this through any of my jackets I found. So I am stuck looking like this. We started our meetings with a land acknowledgement. The City of Albany recognizes that we occupy the land originally protected by the Confederated villages of the Shawn. We acknowledge the genocide that took place on these lands and must make strides to repay the moral debt that is owed to this indigenous people, specifically the Ohlone tribe. We thank them for their contributions which have transformed our community and will continue to bring forth growth and unity. The City of Albany commits to sustaining ongoing relationships with the tribe and together build a better future for all that now make this their home. And with that, City Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember McQuaid?
Here.
Councilmember Nason?
Here.
Vice Mayor Tiedemann?
Here.
Mayor Jordan?
Here. On to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. By approval of the consent calendar, the staff recommendations will be adopted unless otherwise modified by the City Council. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or a member of the audience requests removal of the items from the consent calendar. Does any council member wish to pull an item? Yes.
3-2 and 3-3.
3-2 and 3-3. And with that, I will ask if any member of the public wishes to pull an item or comment on an item, either one that was just pulled by a council member or the only remaining item. Yes, if you please come to the podium, please. Yeah, you'll go ahead and speak, pull it and speak now if you would. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, now would be the time, yeah. Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Sure, welcome this evening.
Thanks. Discussing the possibility of sunsetting the commissions should have been clearly part of the November 5th meeting agenda, with an indication of a final vote to be taken on the December 5th meeting. We're recommending that the decision be left up to the new council. That is not what happened, and so I believe that according to the Brown Act, this was a violation. By chance, I ran into a member of one of the advisory groups the day after the December 5th vote, and they were very upset that the committee they had been on was disbanded, and they knew nothing about plans for that to happen. Their surprise is why this is so critical. It is extremely important that transparency is always maintained about the processes of any decisions a council makes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm speaking in support of our demand letter. The November 7th, 2022 agenda description was misleading, and any reasonable person would not realize it included discussion about the sunsetting of various advisory bodies. In contrast, in 2012, item 9.2 was the biannual review of these bodies, and there was a recommendation in the agenda to sunset one body. At the December 3rd, 2018 council meeting, there was a noticed in-depth discussion of the advisory bodies, including the results of a survey of members. It was described as the council receive information regarding the current status of the city's advisory bodies and provide direction to staff regarding any changes to the advisory bodies. You can contrast this with a description for item 11.1 for the November 7th meeting, that the council review the work plan status reports from the city council advisory bodies and provide direction. The work plan status reports, not the advisory bodies themselves, as described in 2018. The longer version explains this is to help the new advisory bodies. Nowhere in the agenda is the word sunset used. The intent was not to discuss any sunsetting. However, Mayor Jordan stated that this was his intention. As he put it, I certainly have in mind that there's too many, that's my bias. That's kind of why I brought this forward. So I wanted to review so we could think if there was any way we could think about sunsetting. Councilmember Nason commented they were offering recommendations for the new council, but not making decisions for them. However, the discussion at this meeting led to the resolutions at the December 7th meeting that sunsetted these bodies. I'm not saying that the December 7th meeting was not properly noticed. I'm saying these resolutions emerged from an exchange of what Mayor Jordan called thoughts, a discussion, not on the agenda, of whether or not some of the bodies should be sunsetted. I'm asking you, the council, to be honest, because I believe that none of you except Mayor Jordan knew this was the direction that meeting was going to go. I hope you will acknowledge, based on the discussions and outcome, that the agenda description was misleading. Or if you did know this was going to happen, how did you know? Who told you in advance? This isn't about the bodies themselves. This is about being transparent and was going to be discussed at a meeting. This is about doing what is right. I don't agree with the city attorney there was not a violation. In fact, I think she should have stopped the November 7th discussion based on the agenda description. It is your job to uphold the spirit of the Brown Act, keeping the public informed. Whether the wording can be read one way or another, as the city attorney claimed at the December 5th meeting, the reality is that the public was not clearly informed, including advisory body members who were taken by surprise. Please vote your conscience on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Margie Marks. I don't want to repeat what's been said, but I would ask the council to act on the side of greater transparency. I believe that when the city scheduled the November meeting, the mayor had said numerous times before that he thought we had too many commissions, he wanted to get rid of some, that it should have said that they would be looking at the work plans with the intention of seeing if they would sunset any of the committees, because they knew that that's what people wanted to do. So I would just ask you, act on the side of transparency, plus maybe the new council should be making the decision about these commissions, as Councilmember Nason had said before. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have a member from the virtual.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Deborah Perkins Kalama, and I am also concerned because I've been very worried about the fact that there's so little communication in the city of Albany as it is. And to sunset advisory boards without the public knowing anything about it. And I just read the Brown Act for the first time. I was not really familiar with the Brown Act. I sort of knew the intent, but it clearly, if you're trying to get rid of advisory boards because there's a more efficient way, quote, no, I just want to say Peggy McQuaid was sweet enough to respond to the email that I sent to all of you. And in it, she said, I believe there are more effective ways to consider communication than through an advisory body, which is constrained by the Brown Act. I'm a little concerned that we're worried about, or that the council members are worried about being constrained by the Brown Act. The Brown Act is there to protect the public. So I would also ask that this matter be set aside and discussed by the new council when it comes to pass in January. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, City Clerk. And that brings it back to council. Vice Mayor Tiedemann, you had some comments on, or questions on 3.2 and 3.3?
Sure. Just on 3.2, I wanted to call attention to the fact that this is the first election that we ran with our new voting system, and I think it went off very well. And I wanted to just call attention that this is a novel system that we use, and I don't think any other city in California does. I'm hoping that's going to change, but I think that deserves recognition that it's a good change and worked out just as intended. And if anyone has any latent confusion about the counting of the results, as members of my family do, please feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to explain it. 3.3?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I do have a question, actually. Do you have I've been trying to get the raw results, you know, how many people, because they gave us how many people voted for whom for the first choice, but not for the second, third, fourth, or fifth. Will we be getting that?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
Because I'm hot after that as well, being a
Yeah.
data person.
I thought you would be.
Yeah, so the courtesy of the city clerk asking, the registrar has said that they will provide what's called the cast vote record, which is a record of how every ballot was marked, but it's anonymized. And so as stated, this is provided for every ranked choice voting election throughout the Bay Area. I don't know about beyond the Bay Area, and has been since they started running elections by ranked choice. And so this will be available Tuesday or Wednesday, the registrar is projecting. So at that time, you'll be able to see how all the ballots are ranked.
Okay, I'm happy to vote for this tonight, but I hope that in the future, we will arrange certification of the results after the results are available rather than before.
Well, so
Because it creates a lot of questions. People say, well, how did this occur?
So to be clear, that the cast vote record isn't necessary for certification. What we have received,
No,
the
I'm
documentation we've received.
I'm not saying it is, but in terms of transparency, it would be good to have the full results
Yeah.
prior to certification rather than after. But I'm not proposing to abstain or anything like that.
Thank you. 3.3.
And on 3.3, I just wanted to briefly say, and we're going to recognize her again later when we do the oath of office, but we often worry in Albany that we will have too few qualified candidates run for city council, so I am very thankful that we had more than we needed for this special case in which we need to appoint somebody. So thank you for running.
Indeed. And with that, we will move to ceremonial matters.
We need to pass consent.
Oh, yes, well, that would be helpful. Thank you. Is there a motion to pass?
I move consent.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to pass the items on the consent calendar. City Clerk, please poll the council.
Vice Mayor Tiedemann,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan,
Yes.
Councilmember McQuaid,
Yes.
and Councilmember Nason.
yes.
The motion carries.
As you can see, I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing later in this evening, which is transitioning to another mayor. On ceremonial matters, if Councilmember McQuaid would join me at the podium. I'll start off just by saying it's been an honor serving with you. Thank you for seeking the position. So this is resolution number 2022-139, a resolution of the Albany City Council in appreciation of Peggy McQuaid for her service on the Albany City Council. Whereas Peggy McQuaid was elected to the office of City Council in November 2014 and served a 4-year term as member of the City Council. And whereas Peggy McQuaid was reelected to the office of City Council in November 2018 and served another 4-year term through 2022. And whereas during her term as Peggy McQuaid has served the city as council member, vice mayor, and as mayor. And whereas Peggy McQuaid has represented the city by serving as appointee and/or alternate on several regional bodies, including the Alameda County Transportation Commission, Housing Authority of Alameda County, League of California Cities East Bay Division, East Bay Community Energy Joint Powers Authority Board, Alameda County Mosquito Abatement District, Alta Bates Hospital Task Force. And whereas Peggy McQuaid has also represented the city at the Alameda County Mayor's Conference during her service as mayor, whereas Peggy McQuaid also helped increase youth engagement within the city of Albany by helping facilitate a youth and government forum for the city council. And whereas Peggy McQuaid cast a deciding vote to adopt policy regarding the city of Albany sports facilities being available and promoted to girls equal to boys in accord with the Fair Play Act. Oh, it's okay. But that is in your spirit, very much so. Whereas Peggy McQuaid cast a deciding vote leading to the placement of Measure P1 on the 2016 ballot to levy a parcel tax to fund the city restoring Albany's sidewalks. And whereas the voters approved Measure P1 by a wide margin, making it the first measure of its type in the state, and resulting in the city repairing about 300 locations on its 300 blocks of sidewalks so far, with more repairs yet to be funded by the measure. And whereas Peggy McQuaid has supported several other ballot measures that have been approved by the voters that further the city's ability to deliver services and programs to the community, including Measure BB on the 2020 ballot to transition to proportional ranked choice voting, and Measure DD on the 2020 ballot to increase revenue from utility user taxes on resources, with the recommendation to spend 1/3 of the additional revenue on greenhouse pollution reduction and climate change adaptation, making it the first measure of its type in the state. And I will add also was treasurer for the campaign for Measure K to bring our fire department into greater financial sustainability. Whereas Peggy McQuaid volunteered her time to contact members of the community, including seniors and local businesses at the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, to check in and ensure the well-being of our Albany community. And whereas Peggy McQuaid drafted numerous proclamations on a variety of important topics, but not limited to social justice, public health, our senior community, equity, human rights, and cultural heritage months for recognition by the City Council. And whereas Peggy McQuaid has helped lead the annual United Against Hate Week for several years, collaborating with other agencies to bring awareness and reflection to our community. And whereas Peggy McQuaid also carried forward awareness projects, including the installation of rainbow crosswalks on Solano Avenue and the flying of the Confederated Villages of Lechon flag at City Hall. And whereas Peggy McQuaid cast a deciding vote approving the working draft housing element for 2023 to 2031, after providing decisive support for maintaining all potential policies regarding rented residences in the draft. And whereas during Peggy McQuaid's term on the City Council, the Council has addressed a significant number of important issues, projects, and programs, but not limited to approval of a disposition and development agreement to develop a city-owned parcel for an affordable housing project of 62 units of 100% affordable housing, the construction and opening of Peggy Thompson Pierce Street Park, the Albany Loop art installation on the Illinois Greenway, the approval of a complete streets plan for Solano Avenue and a specific plan for San Pablo Avenue. And whereas having served 2 consecutive terms, Peggy McQuaid is unable to run for a 3rd consecutive term and is leaving the City Council, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Albany hereby extends its appreciation to Peggy McQuaid for her service as council member, vice mayor, and mayor of the City of Albany. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Would any of the other council members like to comment?
You go ahead, you're the vice mayor.
The resolution covered quite a bit of the storied history here, but I just wanted to echo my thanks and say that it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you, and your institutional memory and attention to everything that happens in the city of Albany has been a boon to this council.
Thank you.
I would second that very strongly. Thank you.
And I'll just add informal comments, as evident by your trying to help me there, jumping in. That's very much in your spirit, and I so appreciate that spirit. And one comment you made to me one time really helped me and stays in memory. There was a particular event that was completely outside of the city's control, a political event that's cost the city a couple $100,000, and you said of it, well, that's politics. And you had a centered and relaxed attitude about it, control what you can and don't worry about what you can. And that's been very helpful to me, so thank you. And I also want to acknowledge that your mentorship of me as mayor, I don't think I batted a perfect game while I was here, so I thank you all for that, but it was very helpful to me, your mentorship, so thank you.
Thank you.
And with that,
Next.
onward.
I assure everyone this one is just as long for just as storied a career. Whereas Rochelle Nason was appointed to the office of City Council in July 2014 following the passing of Mayor Peggy Thompson and served through 2014 as mayor of the City Council, and whereas Rochelle Nason was elected to the office of City Council in November 2014 and served a 4-year term as member of the City Council, and whereas Rochelle Nason was re-elected to the office of City Council in November 2018 and served another 4 years through 2022. And whereas during her terms, Rochelle Nason has served in the city as council member, vice mayor, and as mayor, and whereas Rochelle Nason has represented the city by serving as appointee and/or alternate on several regional bodies, including the Alameda County Transportation Commission, Association of Bay Area Government, East Bay Sports Field Recreational Authority, Joint Powers Authority, Alameda County Waste Management Authority, League of California Cities, East Bay Division, Alta Bates Hospital Task Force, and whereas Rochelle Nason has also represented the city at the Alameda County Mayor's Conference during her service as mayor, and whereas Rochelle Nason has encouraged a focus on the sustainability and continuity of the city's delivery of core services, including an interest in the long-term financial planning and to further enhance city infrastructure, including but not limited to street lighting, pavement quality, and park restoration and maintenance. And whereas Rochelle Nason has carried a dedicated focus on the Albany waterfront and the bulb, including coordination with different agencies such as the East Bay Regional Parks District and nonprofit organizations regarding the area. And whereas Rochelle Nason has served as a steward of the Albany waterfront and bulb area, including volunteering her time to help with litter and graffiti abatement. And whereas Rochelle Nason supported ballot measures to further the city's ability to maintain and enhance services, including Measure M in 2018 to provide tax funding for maintenance and improvement to the city's parks and open spaces. And whereas Rochelle Nason proposed implementing the Keynes Avenue and Adams Street bike boulevards as pilots, and then cast a deciding vote for the proposal forwarding the interest of safer accommodations for people cycling and living along the San Pablo Avenue corridor now and in the future. And whereas Rochelle Nason volunteered her time to contact members of the community, including seniors and local businesses at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, to check in and ensure the well-being of our Albany community. And whereas Rochelle Nason brought the flying of the Pride flag to the attention and action of the City Council in 2019 in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Rebellion. And whereas Rochelle Nason cast a deciding vote approving the working draft housing element for 2023 to 2031, and whereas during Rochelle Nason's terms on the City Council, the Council has addressed a significant number of important issues and programs, including but not limited to approval of a disposition and development agreement to develop a city-owned parcel for an affordable housing project of 62 units of 100% affordable housing, the construction and opening of Peggy Thompson Pierce Street Park, the Albany Loop art installation on the Ohlone Greenway, the approval of a complete streets plan for Solano Avenue, and a specific plan for San Pablo Avenue. And whereas, having served 2 consecutive terms, Rochelle Nason was unable to run for a 3rd consecutive term and is leaving the City Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Albany hereby extends its appreciation to Rochelle Nason for her service as council member, vice mayor, and mayor of the City of Albany.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Congratulations, Councilmember Nason.
So much.
And I want to thank you for your focus on finances as well. I've learned to have a focus on that. That was the most terrifying part of contemplating running for office, was learning to read the budget and get into that. So I appreciate your focus on that, as well as infrastructure, streets and roads.
Thank you so much.
Well, I would just say that in addition to all that, the thing that I think I appreciate is, even though we've known each other since she was really little and I was kind of little, I feel like in the last 8 years, we've really gotten to know each other. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'll be watching you guys go by, you and Dre and Rosie, and run out and catch up and walk with you.
Thank you. I hope so.
I'll just echo the comments made and thank you for all of your time and all of your service. It's impossible for us to include it all in one resolution. I'll also note that while we've been up here, we received an email from Senator Skinner's office thanking you both for your service. That I want to just call attention to and remind you both that even when you're off the City Council, we rely on your involvement in the city government.
Thank you.
I regret saying that.
Yeah, that has become more of a tradition, interestingly. There are numerous former city council members who are serving on advisory bodies.
Yeah.
And I'll also note that your work continues. You'll get to enjoy seeing some of it be manifested, some of what you voted for. I don't know if the affordable housing project has started construction yet, but I believe that's any day now. Is that, from what we know? Yeah, any day. Very good. All right, well, on to new business.
We just.
I guess that's how that goes, yeah.
And we're,
No.
Public.
Oh, yes, please. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Amy Neal. I live on Talbot Avenue. I've been an Albany resident for 29 years now. And I just wanted to publicly thank you both for your public service. Maybe albeit with a few less whereases here, but it was amazing to hear all that cataloged for what you guys have done. It sounded exhausting, and I know at times it was, but you both have served the council with such distinction and integrity. And I just, I'm surprised to feel emotional about public service, but I do, because it's difficult, and it's something that I think that all of us really appreciate and see how hard it is, even in the best of times, and there have been a lot of difficult times during your tenure, and you've served with integrity and thoughtfulness and care, and Albany is better for it, and so is Alameda County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Robert Chasey. I'm probably the oldest person in this room right now. I'd like to thank you both for all the years you put in. 2,000 years old, thank you. And as somebody who has done some public service, I know the sacrifices you've made, the hardships on your family and your friends, on your personal lives, and the difficulty of sitting in the dunk tank every once in a while when people come down and give you their improved opinions about what you might be doing for the public. But thank you both very much. You'll be missed. And thank the current council for your service and the new council for your anticipated service. It's a wonderful thing. I think we have a lot of work to do, and I think we'll enjoy doing it together.
Thank you.
Anybody? No? All right, not seeing anybody else headed to the podium. Now we will move to new business with thanks. You are relieved.
Still ceremonial.
So now we go on to the next item under ceremonial, which is the oath of office for the newly elected and newly appointed council members.
Would the council member-elect and council member appointee please step forward? Join me at the dais. Trying to make things easier for you guys. Okay, congratulations, and please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and please state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. And the last question to ask you, do you all attest to the oath that you just took? Thank you. You may lower your hands now. Congratulations.
Come on up. I don't know where you're sitting, but it is that time. I guess alphabetical order, so that would put Councilmember Hansen-Romero there, I'm guessing. The city clerk will be the final arbiter, but. Okay. Councilmember Lopez, welcome. Wow, very exciting. So at this moment, if anybody has comments for the new council members, I know there's some new members of the public who might have some advice for them. They were recently upon the days. I don't know if they're willing to make any comments or not. Not seeing any. Well, wait, here we go. Great. Okay. Yes. Thank you. And someone who left the days a little longer ago. I'm not even sure there was a days when he left the days.
As somebody who served, I know this is an exciting moment for you, but the most exciting moment, I think, for the public is the oath you just took. I know you're going to honor that oath. It's a very sincere and important step in your life to make such an oath. And as we've recently seen, people high up in our government have disregarded their oath and not not upheld what I think are the interests of the country and the Constitution. And I'm glad to hear you wholeheartedly acknowledge the Constitution, because it's a document that can be shredded by accident if we don't all adhere to it. I'm glad to see you willing to do public service. I really have a lot of confidence that this will be a great city council.
Thank you. Welcome to the other side.
Exactly. Welcome back. I just want to say congratulations. And I know that we're leaving the city council in good hands. So thank you for doing this, and best of luck.
Welcome.
I'm always having to lower the mic. I don't know why that is. I just wanted to say also congratulations. I'm very excited to have new council members. And I also wanted to say that in my lifetime of voting, it seems like frequently the person I vote for doesn't get into office, just looking generally like at the whole political, including president and going on down. So it was really exciting to me to campaign for somebody who actually won this time. So congratulations to Robin in particular. Thank you.
Thank you. And I thank you all for running and sitting up here. Yes, Vice Mayor Tiemann.
I would just echo all the comments made and thank you all for being willing to take on a job that is all too often thankless and difficult and definitely underpaid. So it is very, very much appreciated, and we did not expect to be having this many people join us at this moment, but I'm happy that we have all of you.
Do the new council members have any comments? You're not required to, but if you just want to get into it or you want to make some comments.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for our entire community for giving us these opportunities to serve you all.
I think I would.
First lesson. Should have warned you about that.
I would echo what Councilmember Hansen-Romero mentioned. Really, I think it was a real pleasure to run for office. I think when I first thought about running for office, I was very apprehensive, I guess would be the best word. But I think what I found is knocking on people's doors is how open and warm people in Albany are, that the community really cares about what we have, what's really special here. And I think I also, through the campaign, saw what people were willing to fight for. And so I really want to thank the members of the public for both answering the door when I happened to knock on the door, but also being willing to talk with me. And I do want to send a special thanks out to my family, my wife and my kids who helped support me, and our young little dog, Kashi, who was my campaign manager.
And then, I'd like to give a quick comment too, not to carbon copy what Councilmember Hansen-Romero and Councilmember Mickey have said, but I'm very thankful for the community's support, but also just overall community engagement during this recent election. And I look forward to living up to the expectation that those who voted for me have. And I look forward to earning the trust and the confidence of those who may have not had the highest of support for me. And at the end of the day, this community is a community full of constituents and neighbors. And I want to make sure I hold mine at the bargain of being elected. But similar to what John has stated, I want to give a very heartfelt shout out to my partner, my wife, Stephanie, who's hiding in the back corner, and my son. He's 11 weeks old as of a couple days ago, Omoteoti. And it was very difficult, as John is quite familiar, during the campaign trail to balance expecting a newborn. And I have no problem stating it publicly, but he was in the NICU, and that put a lot of stress on the campaign and my ability to be able to knock on doors. But when I was able to get out there, similar to what John had said, very welcoming community. And I'm saying that as someone who had recently relocated over here into the UC Village. And just to go off that tangent, reportedly the first elected council member from the UC Village since perhaps the mid-1970s. And so I look forward to that form of representation, but also breaking barriers as reportedly the first ever Latinx mixed indigenous person to be elected to Albany City Council. And I hope this does increase more engagement with our minoritized community members to come forward, whether they agree with my policies or not, that they see that representation does exist on this council. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you all. You're here.
Mayor, I do have one more comment
Very
virtually.
good. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. Congratulations. My name is KZ Zapata. I wanted to offer words of appreciation to all the new members of the council, and specifically Robin and his family for stepping up to represent the residents of Albany. As a mixed race Latinx person in the city myself, knowing that Robin could be elected here has been inspiring to me. What is curious to me is whether the people of Albany will embrace Robin and the board's vision, specifically around social justice and racial justice, and listen to the voice of progressive brown folks in the city. Even more importantly, I'm curious about how the staff will find ways to support you all's efforts. Albany is a place of much promise and of a lot of work that needs to take place to make real its commitment to equity and social justice. Having served myself as part of the Social and Economic Justice Commission with Robin for a short time, and before that with amazing Albany people of service, I hope the new board can take bold steps forward to deal with Albany's difficult past, including a history of racist exclusionary housing practices, for example. Albany is small enough to create some visionary change, but it also has a tendency to be protectionist and fearful. Good luck to the new board. I hope you think expansively about our city's borders and partner with the dedicated activists in the city, many of whom are in the chambers tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
City Clerk. So now I think we're on new business. I'm going to check with the Vice Mayor because I'm off my game even more tonight. Okay, thank you. So this is City Council reorganization and appointment of Mayor and Vice Mayor. May the council ask staff's report to, if you have a report to provide.
Well, this is an annual item for the council to reorganize to select a council member to the position of mayor and vice mayor. And it's for a one-year term per the appointment guidelines stated in our adopted city council procedures and policies.
Thank you, and I'll just add that in 2021, the council adopted a policy of an established rotation of council members through the seat of vice mayor and mayor. So that's in our procedure manual, and that's a change from the past. I think this will be notionally the first or second year, depending on how you look at it, of the implementation of that policy. Are there any questions from council members about the policy or how this works? Okay. Are there any comments from the public at this time? Is there anybody? Nobody online? Okay. I'll bring it back to the council, and I will ask the question, given the policy of rotation, Vice Mayor Tiedemann, if you were to be appointed to mayor, would you accept the position?
Yes, I would.
And Councilmember Mickey, if you were to be appointed to vice mayor, would you accept the position?
Yes, I would.
Then I will move that Vice Mayor Tiedemann be appointed to mayor and Councilmember Mickey be appointed to vice mayor. Is there a second for the motion?
Councilmember Lopez, second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Vice Mayor Tiedemann to the position of mayor, and Councilmember Mickey to the position of vice mayor. City Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Hansen-Romero,
Yes.
Councilmember Jordan,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mickey.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm ready. Get me out of here.
Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Start that over. Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Mickey,
Yes.
Councilmember Hansen-Romero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Tiedemann,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
The motion passes.
And may you never have to use this.
Before we adjourn, as that's our next item, I just wanted to give a heartfelt thanks to the now former mayor. I know he's stated several times this meeting that he is ready to not be the mayor anymore, but he has shown the same extreme attention to detail and willingness to say what he believes is right, even when it's unpopular as mayor, that he has through all the campaigns that I've worked with him on. And he has managed a transition back to in-person meetings that I don't think any of us were quite ready for, with a great deal of skill, and he leaves big shoes to fill. So I thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I believe we are adjourned. Welcome all new council members and congratulations.